Really, you as a South Asia expert, specifically on India and Pakistan, how do you see Pakistan panning out? I was reading some of the stuff you have written recently, and you were saying that Pakistan faces really tough choices. What tough choices you were talking about?
Well, this is a situation that Pakistan is experiencing where there's been a horrific terror attack in Lahore, in Punjab. This is, as you know, the political stronghold of the ruling party. There have been plenty of terrorist attacks in Lahore and in Punjab over the last few years, but not that many, and very few, if any, as deadly as this one in this park in Lahore. So I think that the government in Pakistan now is at a point where it needs to make a decision. Is it finally ready to launch some type of meaningful operations against terror groups who are in Punjab? And as you well know, there are many different types of terror groups in Punjab and Pakistan, including groups like LET and JEM. Pakistan is not going to go after those groups, in my view. But will it go after other types of terror groups, like the sectarian ones, like Lashkar-e-Jhangvi? I don't know. If it did that, there'd be a huge backlash. It would be politically explosive. And yet, it's clear to the government that...
Are you suggesting that the Pakistani establishment might really not be up to it to handle the situation they are in? Because as we see it from Delhi, the establishment at least, that for example, United States really does not show the kind of appreciation it should be showing for the kind of a split personality that is there in the Pakistani state, the dichotomy between the military part of the Pakistani state and the civil government. Right. You think the difficult choices that the Pakistani state has to make are essentially connected with this dichotomy and this schizophrenia in the state?
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, it's all connected. But, you know, my view is that at the end of the day, not much is going to change. I mean, is this horrific attack in Lahore a wake-up call to the Pakistani state? Unfortunately not, and I say that because who launched this attack? It was a splinter group of the Pakistani Taliban. These are guys that the Pakistani military are already going after because they target the state. Why would they all of a sudden decide to go after different types of groups that, in the view of Pakistan, do not pose a threat to Pakistan and in fact can be useful because they can be used against India?
Do you think US can have a role in terms of exerting some influence with that part of Pakistan, which is really not in favor of good India-Pakistan ties?
Well, the question is, what exactly can the United States do? I mean, this has been the question for...
Because Delhi believes that, you know, most of the times, US, when it comes to India and Pakistan, is really guided more by its own self-interest, for example, in Afghanistan. So can something be done about that?
Well, I mean, this is the thing, and I tell friends and colleagues in India this all the time, that the United States does and has pushed and will push Pakistan very hard and continue to do so to do more about these terror groups, other than those that launch attacks against the state. Groups like Lashkar-e-Taiba. I mean, let's not forget that Americans died, as well as Indians, in the Mumbai attack, not nearly as many. But the U.S. has a very clear interest in getting Pakistan to deal with this LET group. But at the same time, the United States has its interest. It wants to maintain a relationship with Pakistan. It doesn't want to jeopardize that by pushing too hard against the Pakistanis, so to speak, which, in my view, is an increasingly unpalatable policy to take.